Hello everyone and welcome to a festive edition of Toonhounds, your fortnightly foray into all things animated. I'm Rich Masters and with me as always is my good old buddy, old pal, Santa's elf, Spivzy.
A festive foray into all things animated.
Very nice. And because it's Christmas, you know who else we've got here.
Santa?
It's it's Matthew Tucciarone.
What a get.
What a Santa of Toonhounds.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me back. Merry Christmas.
It's a Christmas tradition.
Yeah. That's weird.
How long have we done this 4 times now?
We have done this 4 times.
That's crazy.
Because I always try to watch these with Callie, and for some reason a few days ago she was like, "We should watch Blueto's The Christmas Elf again."
Oh god.
I was like, okay. So we did. So we watched Blueto's The Christmas Elf again.
Wow.
And it has not gotten any better, but it was very fun to watch. So
have you made her watch Rhapsody Street Kids yet?
I did not make her watch that. I love her too much.
Yeah, I was going to say that shows who loves who in the relationship.
I barely watched it, so.
So did the people who made it.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we are talking about Christmas stop motion animation.
Wow.
So we picked Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
We picked good things.
Yeah, these are both good things.
They are both good. One film is about a bunch of horrible idiots, and one is about well-meaning idiots.
Yeah. They were about, both of these. I was thinking these are basically the same film, aren't they?
Yeah.
From like a different angle.
Yeah.
They're both about not rocking the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stay in your lane, animated characters. Don't dare have any differences.
Although, I mean, the moral at the end's pretty different, though, because with Rudolph, it's like, oh, your difference actually ends up being, the thing that saves the day. And in Nightmare, it's like, no, just stick with what you got.
Yeah, you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
Don't dream.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some snow to placate you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Rudolph, 1964. I had seen parts of this, but I'd never seen the whole of sat down and watched the whole of it. Well, we don't. So there are 3 big Christmas American holiday specials, right? I would say Charlie Brown, Grinch, and Rudolph.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We don't really have.
We have the Grinch, but that's about it. The other ones don't really get shown.
So what do we have?
Mr. Bean. We have the Mr. Bean Christmas special where he eats Twiglets.
Fucking snowman's on every year. I hate the snowman.
Yeah. What else is there? We have Olive. We watched Olive the Other Reindeer. That's on all the time. And they always do those BBC specials every year, like Mog and that one about the dragon, which aren't really Christmassy, but they're always billed as Christmas, like the Gruffalo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did Stickman one year, didn't they? And then they did The Room on the Broom. Yeah. So we don't have Christmas.
We don't have Christmas.
We hate Christmas.
Yeah.
But we don't have Christmas TV specials in the same way. Because, everyone who I know who is American, I put that in a really weird way. Every American I know normally watches at least one of these every holiday season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We don't really have that.
As the American representative on this episode, yes. I would say
the whole race.
I would say, Rudolph, Grinch, and Charlie Brown are kind of the staples. And a lot of it comes back to Rudolph. Rudolph was this Rankin Bass special from '64 is kind of like the first really big Christmas special, and this is how you get Charlie Brown and the Grinch and the 8 billion other specials in the 70s.
Yeah, I think if this wasn't successful, you wouldn't have Christmas TV specials at all, probably, right?
Probably,
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
or at least it would have come from something else. So
yeah. I don't know where to start with this. So everything that the song came after this, right?
No,
the
song
was before. Song was
49.
late 40s. Yeah.
Right, okay, good. I'm glad of that because, like, they shoehorn some fucking writing into this episode.
Yeah.
You're not playing reindeer games. What the fuck are
really
reindeer
funny.
games?
That made me laugh.
Although they did invent elf practice, which elf practice cracks me up.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. You ever seen that thing? Is it Robbie the Reindeer?
No.
It's an Aardman stop motion. I think it's Aardman. It looks like Aardman anyway. Where it's about like the reindeer games, where they're like the Olympics. Where it's Rudolph's son, Robbie, who's like joining the reindeer games, and it's pretty good. It's Ed, whatever his name is, the Irish comedian. I can't remember what his last name is.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
Ed Burns.
Ed Burns, yeah, it's him playing Robbie the Reindeer, and the reindeer games part made me think of that, and I thought, I'd rather be watching Robbie the Reindeer.
Reindeer games. They make it sound like a small, like, Christmas-themed Olympics.
Yeah, it's not.
I suppose Winter Olympics.
Running and jumping.
Yeah.
I don't really know where I stand with this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, because I thought it was funny, but I don't think it was funny in the way that it was meant to be.
No. I think not growing up with it.
Yeah.
I both loved and loathed every character, and I think I love them for the right reason.
He's a dickhead.
They're
terrible people, all of them. So my favourite part was when he goes to see the newborn reindeer, and he's nearly sick in his mouth when he sees his grotesque face.
And I love that he tells Donner, the dad, to be ashamed of himself for having a son with a deformity.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll just explain to the young reindeer about who I am." And then he sings a little song about jingling, and then he leaves. And he just fucks off.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Okay, bye.
I think the only thing that the way that season that intro to the kid would have been worse is if Santa had said something like "bad blood will out" or something like that.
Oh God, look at his face, it's grotesque.
But he's a dickhead to the elves as well when they sing that song, and then he's like, "Oh, fucking."
He's like, needs work, see ya.
Yeah, can't think with that elf song in my fucking head.
I will say that did make me laugh, because where he's like all bored and uncomfortable, and Mrs. Claus is like waving her fingers back and forth. That's cute.
Yeah, and Mrs. Claus was the best character. Like, come on, fatten up. Yeah. Come on, eat my food. This is my love language. But everyone's just a dickhead to Rudolph. Rudolph is a dickhead as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He abandons his friends.
It's like, those like intrusive thoughts that you have, like, what if people don't actually like me and they're talking about me behind my back? All of that is true for Rudolph. Everybody doesn't like him.
Yeah.
That bit where they're all at the reindeer games, and the coach says he won't be invited to any more after this.
He's got a deformity. He's not allowed.
And there's a bit where the narrator calls it like his non-conformity.
Yeah, that was weird. Burl Ives, that's who it was. Although I can't remember what his name was, the snowman in the show.
Sam the snowman.
Sam.
Yep.
Sam the snowman.
Yeah, I guess I could say I have watched this like almost every year for my entire life. I remember being a little kid and being terrified of the abominable snowman. Like, it was one of those things where, like, until, like, embarrassingly late, like, probably 9 or 10, I was still kind of scared of it.
But I think that's a deep-seated phobia type thing, right?
Yeah. It has, like, the spooky music, and he's got the big teeth. And
I thought, when I first... Because I'd seen bits, like I say, but I'd never seen the whole film.
Yeah, same.
When I saw the Abominable Snowman, I was like, oh, he's clearly misunderstood. They're going to make friends.
Yeah.
And then, no, he wants to eat reindeer.
Yeah, he's hungry.
He's like the Wampa.
Yeah. Although I guess all of his evil is stored in his teeth, I guess, because when you take the teeth out, then he's just happy.
Yeah.
Thank God they had an elf that wanted to be a dentist, right? Why is the elf called Hermie?
It's short for Herman.
Yeah, I think that's just a nickname, Hermie.
Yeah, Herman the elf.
Is his name Herman?
It must be. What else is Herman going to be short for?
I don't know. It's just weird.
Hermetic.
It's a weird. Yeah. I mean, Donna's a dick.
He is.
Yeah. Donna was.
Oh, and I love at the end whenever he's like, "Oh, Rudolph, I knew he would be great all along."
Yeah. There was some very 1960s parts.
Oh,
yeah. Got to get the women home.
Gotta get the whip. That one cracked me up. The women need to go home.
This is man's work. You can't come out with me.
Oh, man's work. Yeah, that was funny.
Although apparently off screen at some point they would have, I guess they did team up, because at the end, whenever the Bumble is about to eat them, it's Donner along with the lady reindeers. So I guess at some point Donner got over himself. And they were together.
He had an awakening. I can't be like an abysmal dad and an abysmal husband. I've got to pick a lane. Clarice had one of those character arcs, much like in Nightmare, where you meet a character and you fall in love with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clarice and Sally are the same character.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Except one of them's a reindeer.
They're both down bad for the main character, despite not really interacting with them much.
Yeah.
I mean, Clarice just decides, well, I've obviously got kink for deformities, and then it's really interesting. There was such a sudden change between voice actor and singer that I was like, is this supposed to be a song that the character is singing, or is this supposed to be a background track?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cadence completely changed when she started singing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, on the Wikipedia page, it doesn't say who voiced Clarice, so I can't find it.
Don't say it like Silence of the Lambs, Clarice.
I wanted to see if it was the same singer, but it doesn't actually say. Is it on the IMDb page?
I don't know. I haven't done that much preparation.
I'm just curious now to see if it's the same person singing. Let's see. There's only 12 people in the cast, according to this.
Wow.
That was the thing I really loved, is seeing how like it's a production that was made pretty it's Rankin and Bass kind of became famous for doing stop motion Christmas stuff, because they later did like The Year Without Santa and Santa Claus Come to Town and other stuff like that. But they also did traditional animation stuff like the Hobbit, the 70s Hobbit movie, which is a lot of fun if you haven't seen it.
Is that the one we did? Did we do that one?
Yeah, we did Hobbit and The Last Unicorn.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's right. But yeah, that Hobbit's super fun.
I've looked it up, and it was Janice Orenstein, and she did perform as well as do the voice.
Oh, cool.
It's the same singer. And this was the last thing she ever did. She quit show business after this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Probably because of the rampant sexism in the industry.
Probably, yeah. And she died in 2010.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good for her.
Wow, yeah.
So, wild connection that I just found through Wikipedia diving. The Hermie, the person who did the voice of Hermie, is a man named Paul Soules, who also did the voice of Spider-Man in the 60s Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's super funny. But yeah, I really love Hermie, because Hermie is like such a gay character.
Yeah.
It's like very obviously gay, but like not in like a negative way. He's just like, this is definitely a queer-coded character in the 60s.
Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
He's being rejected by the people around him, and all he wants to do is just do his weird little hobby,
I love
he's got a hyperfixation.
He does.
But I love that he is just not like he makes no and this is why I agree with the queer codedness of the character. He makes no bones about the fact that he wants to be a dentist, and he refuses to act another way, and I loved that. He's just like, no, I'm not going to go fucking sing.
Yeah.
I'm too busy learning how to be a dentist. I love that he creates a doll that you can pull the teeth out of.
Yeah, that'd be all. That is the sort of thing they would make in the 60s.
It is.
Wooden pegs that you pull out of a doll's mouth.
And it screams when it
as a little record on the inside. It screams whenever you pull the teeth. Oh. And I love Yukon Cornelius. Just
the rounding out the cast. Yukon Cornelia.
I think we lost Rich.
Boundless
optimism
character.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
I love the.
He was talking literally as it went away.
Oh man! I hope he's still recording. I hope he's still talking. That'd be funny. I'm not stopping recording though.
Yeah, I'm not either. Oh man, that would be. I guess I'll message him.
Thing is, because his Discord is always on invisible, we don't know if he's actually offline or not.
I really hope that he just began a whole paragraph talking about Yukon.
Yeah, he's still talking.
He's still going. He's coming back.
He's coming back. His son put another balloon up his nose.
I was about to say coin flip if it's Evan related. Hey, Rich.
Hello. Discord just decided to run an update and kick me out.
Awesome.
God damn it. Did you keep recording? Because
I kept recording the whole time.
Good. That's good. I don't have to do anything now then.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Anyways. What was I saying?
We're talking about Yukon.
Yeah. So I was saying that he spent his life in search of precious minerals and silver and gold, and then doesn't he find a sherbet mine at the end?
A peppermint mine.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
And he's just happy with that. That's apparently the best thing.
Every time he does the throwing it up, tasting it, and nothing, that still makes me laugh.
He's the best character.
And I love that he has a gun. He just has a revolver in his belt. And of course he never uses it. This is a children's special, but it just cracks me up.
Yeah. Is it do you think it's loaded though?
Yeah. Maybe he's just for intent. It probably was loaded chestnuts. And then he had a with chestnuts. That's funny than any other joke I was gonna make. So, and I also love that his mush team is all different kinds of dogs.
Yeah,
that's
and I love that.
Cute.
I love that he spends most of the time pulling them.
Yeah,
he loves them so much. No, you're all useless, but I'm gonna keep you around. I'll just mush. Mm-hmm. I love the whole Leper Island concept.
It's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah, they did the Island of Misfit Toys in Fables, the comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't get that far.
One of the kids gets trapped there, and he basically starves to death because there's no food on the Island of Misfit Toys.
There was a sequel, quote unquote, to this called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys.
Oh.
I thought that was just this, but with a different name.
No, it's 2001. Adventure musical directed by Bill Kowalchuk for Good Times Entertainment.
Oh, this looks like they've just animated this, but put a really sassy-looking hippo in the cast. And Vivi from Final Fantasy.
Oh, you're totally right.
Vivi, but if he went the way of Private Eye.
Features the voices of Rick Moranis. Didn't think he did anything at that time. Weird.
Yeah, I thought he'd retired in 90-something.
Yeah, weird.
And Richard Dreyfuss is in it.
I gotta look it up.
Scoopty Snowman, what a great name.
I think we found our next Christmas film.
Oh,
guys.
God. Oh, boy. Sorry, it's on YouTube, and it's not good.
Oh, really?
I will post it in the chat, just sans context.
Oh, wow.
The film...
That looks like it's from 2001.
It sure does.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, my.
So the film received mixed to negative reviews, with critics citing poor CGI animation and weak story. But it was praised for its voice acting, particularly for Curtis and Moranis.
Huh, cool.
Makes
sense,
and
it is a sequel.
It's a sequel. So so he went back to the Island of Misfit Toys.
Apparently
kept his promise.
Golly.
But this bad CG version of it is... it's buying into my theory that everything that is CG or 3D animated would be better if it was stop motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
It's why I admire them not doing a Nightmare Before Christmas sequel.
They keep wanting to. They keep trying.
Keep wanting to.
Yeah. I don't know what they would do.
I think they would probably go down the route of doing another holiday. So it'd be
which one?
Nightmare Before Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah.
I know, but none of the other ones are that interesting, are they? As Halloween
Nightmare
and
Before
Christmas?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I was about to say a
Rubbish.
leprechaun tries to take over Halloween Town, and Jack and Santa have to team up.
Santa hates the Irish. It's well known. Oh, they did one called A Miser Brothers Christmas. Oh, that was stop motion. They did a stop motion one in 2008. So they tried doing a CG one in 2001 and said, well, that didn't work.
Mm.
And then they did a cartoon afterwards and then a stop motion at the end.
Mm.
Wow, sure.
And then they all died. They never made it anymore.
But this special is super fun, very special to me. And yeah,
I enjoyed it.
It's fun, and I think it's I work in theater. I've talked about that on this show before, and one of the shows that I did lights for was there's a more recent musical adaptation of the special, which is basically just the special, like almost word for word with the songs and everything. And a group did it. I think it was last year that I did with the group, and so I saw them do everything from this special a billion times, and I wasn't completely sick of it. So that's a huge testament to it being pretty good.
What's the costuming like on that on the stage show? Is there somebody dressed as a reindeer, or do they just wear?
It's just antlers and outfits. But it was really fun. The Bumble was because it was a kids production, but the Bumble was like one of the adult volunteers in a suit, which was pretty cute.
I think my favourite thing about this is how, like, I find it with most stop motion, how tactile it looks. Like you want to reach out and touch the things. If that doesn't sound too weird. Yeah. Like you want to pick it up. You want to touch it. You want to sort of like feel how, like you say, like how soft it is, or like what's Hermie's hair made of, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like the inside of a toy box that you just want to reach into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have you read the thing about where the puppets went? What happened to them?
No, is it sad?
Oh, I was about to say, I know they got. I remember seeing like pictures of them that were very in disrepair.
Yeah, they were given to a secretary who gave them to different family members as presents, and they just got damaged from bad storage. And in 2005, Rudolph and Santa were on Antiques Roadshow, and they were given between $8,000 and $10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that like part of the moral of the story, that toys were created to be played with, though? Like, so they're not, like, I don't mind that so much. They met their purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They achieved their Christmas purpose.
Yeah. It's like how all the chickens in Chicken Run melted in that fire.
Oh.
How is it anyway like that?
Because they've served their purpose, and now they've been melted.
They served their purpose by being a puddle of goo.
Yeah. They entertained, and then they died like all of us.
I'd say they didn't
Christmas.
get in the movie, they didn't get cooked, but they did in real life.
Oh man, I really like the songs.
I didn't.
Oh really?
Yeah, I thought they were really shit. Yeah, I thought they were rubbish.
But I thought they were good in a 1960s sense.
I mean, maybe yeah, because we didn't have anything else to compare it by.
We hadn't invented good music yet.
At least there wasn't a song about how women are second-class citizens and don't get to do anything, which is they could have gone down the route of.
We could, yeah, they could have done
This is men's work.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are just weird offhand comments. They're not musical numbers.
I can't even remember half of the songs. I remember the really bad elf song.
Yeah, We Are Santa's Elves.
Yeah, I remember that one.
You had the Clarice song.
Yeah, that one was.
We're a couple of
1960s.
We're a couple of
misfits.
Oh yeah,
that one's awful. That was the worst one in the entire movie.
The Most Wonderful Day of the Year from the Misfits.
That doesn't count.
How does it not count?
That's just a regular song.
Well, no,
isn't it?
the Misfit Toys song.
Okay.
When Christmas Day is here.
Yeah, it wasn't the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you off then.
That's actually I was gonna say, what's y'all's favorite Misfit toy?
I like the lion the king.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what most of them were. There was one that did make me laugh, but I can't think what it was. No, the Charlie in the Box.
Charlie, I love Charlie.
Charlie in the box is great.
Yeah, because that sounds like
Charlie
a
in the
euphemism for
box.
something.
It does.
Yeah.
Who wants a Charlie in the box?
And I also the cowboy that rides an ostrich is kind of just
that
that's,
one. I like
that's
that
just
one.
that's just what the game Joust is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was dated. I thought it was, it's one of those things that I feel like in a couple of years, maybe 5 or 10 years, it's going to have a disclaimer on the front.
Yeah.
Like, this is what people thought back in the day.
Whoopi Goldberg is going to be on a video at the beginning of it.
I've done it for black people, now I've got to do it for women as well.
And elves.
And elves.
Dentists.
We're going to meet elves within the next 5 years, and this will be like an offensive film then.
But yeah, I think there were some bits that were a bit too dated, but I enjoyed it overall. I think it was fun. I wouldn't like my thermometer of this now. Is that the term? My barometer, whatever.
Yeah.
My measure of it is: would I show it to Evan and expect him to have a good time or be bored? And I think he would enjoy this.
Yeah, I think so.
I like
It's an enjoyable little.
Yeah, I
Little
didn't.
thing.
I wasn't bored.
No, yeah, and there's no like wasted time.
No, it's really short. It's like 54 minutes, isn't it? Something like that.
And it's a huge testament that I watched whenever I watched Blue Toes, it was right before we watched Rudolph. And Blue Toes, it was I was definitely looking at my phone most of the time, and this one I was paying attention. So,
right, Matt, you've got to give it a score.
I'll give it a silver.
Nostalgia is allowed to influence your score as well.
I'll give it a silver out of gold.
Peppermint out of 10.
Peppermint out of 10. No, I'd give it probably like an 8 out of 10. It's
cool.
It's still it's not my favorite Christmas special. That's still going to be Charlie Brown.
Brown.
But I do really like this one a lot.
Spiv?
I'm gonna give it like a 6 or a 7.
I was going to go 7.
I'm glad that I've seen it now, so I understand the references in other things that I've seen. Because this is one of them where I've basically seen the film before but never knew.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's part of why I love the movie Elf so much, because it's like his outfit is literally the same as the head elves, and they like licensed it and stuff. And there's everything about the North Pole and Elf is just this special with live action, and
especially like when they're working around the table and stuff like that. It just it's absolutely the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Spiv. It's one of those things that I think I would have enjoyed more if I had have seen before the things that influenced it.
Yeah.
And I think like it's akin to stuff like The Goonies. If you watch The Goonies for the first time now when you're mumble years old, it's not going to be as interesting as if you watched it as a kid.
That is what I did. That's a different episode of a different podcast, but that's what I did. I watched The Goonies for the first time I was thinking I was 30, so...
And it doesn't hold up if you're 30.
It's weird. I'll never have another chance to talk about this. A brief aside about The Goonies on this Christmas show.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
and it's funny you say that. Raiders of the Lost Ark is kind of a Christmas movie for me. Because we watched it a lot around Christmas time. But anyways, Goonies, watching The Goonies feels to me like I was watching... It's like I was watching kids on the ride based on a different movie called The Goonies. Because it felt like it has all the beats and things that I've heard people talk about in my life, but it's like a bunch of kids kind of like yelling over each other about doing stuff. And I was just the whole time thinking like, this is The Goonies?
Yeah. Objectively, that film is shit.
I'm lukewarm on The Goonies. I think it's fine.
I watched it as a kid. I enjoy it for its references, but objectively, the film is terrible. It's like there's a lot of films like that, though, isn't there? That if you watch them now for the first time, you're never ever going to get. Flight of the Navigator is another one of those that I love because I watched it when I was a kid, but objectively, it is a massive pile of shit.
Which one's Flight of the Navigator? What happens in that one?
The one where the kid they find the ship, and it's like the security door from Return of the Jedi.
Is that the
fly in
aliens
the
one?
ship? He's got like a zoo of aliens in the ship.
I don't think I've seen it.
Well, then you should watch it and see if you like it.
I should. I just looked. A Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer video game was released on November 9th, 2010. The Wii version received poorly and garnered extremely negative reviews, with IGN giving it a 1.5 out of 10.
Wow.
It's funny, whenever you hear reviews like that, it's like, I almost gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I hope they've played this on continue because it looks awful.
But I don't see how a video game can get a 1.
Yeah, that's like you haven't made a game.
That's it. Yeah, it's like promising a game and then delivering a book.
Yeah.
That's a 1 out of 10. Right, so first part done of this Christmas special.
So anyways, Rudolph. Yeah.
Should we take a break and then we'll come back and talk about Nightmare Before Christmas?
Sure.
Yeah, let's have a night.
There's a time for giving.
All right, we'll see you in a sec.
There's time for buying presents, though it's hard to find enough time to spare. But there's 1,000 answers here at Woolworth, 1,000 ways to say you care.
EMI recording tapes per packs, cases for cassette or discs. New Blitz prices make them super value. Pickwick superstars you mustn't miss. Computer perfection, electronic playmate, value for the family. Simon's the name for a great computer game. Christmas brings the Beatles back on MFP.
There's a time for giving.
Home
Yes, a
back.
time for buying presents, though it's hard to find enough time to spare.
Ideas in clothes for everyone.
But there's 1,000 answers here at
Electric
Woolworth.
value you can count on, with names like Philips and Clairol too. A fast hair dryer, and here's another flyer, a shaver for the fella who means most to you. Polaroid 1000 with a Christmas bonus, bikes for any member of your family. Benetton Royal alarm clock radio, Envoy watches for you to see. Christmas paper, cards and wrapping, Woolworth vouchers, hey, hey, hey. Christmas trees and lights and trappings, gonna be a starry Christmas
There's
day.
1,000 answers here at Woolworth, 1,000 ways to say you care.
When I worked at the garden centre, we had some like old man who'd like buy every kind of gardening tool available and had like an allotment round the corner. He just happened to own a Santa suit, so when it was Christmas, he'd come in and pretend to be Santa. And he was awful. He was a terrible Santa. He was like this proper northern bloke.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a specific accent that Father Christmas tends to have, or is it just kind of?
Well, he didn't even attempt to do an accent. I just always think of him talking like this.
Yeah, he's got to over enunciate, right, as a British person.
Yeah.
Like that. I could be Santa, I think.
You could be Santa.
If the Santa Claus happened to me, I think I'd be fine. At least you'd be set up for life, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have to worry about careers.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't it be quite boring?
Maybe.
Although he doesn't really do much work, does he?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
You've got legions of slaves working for you.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that, though. I'm evidently not as comfortable with a legion of slaves as you are.
Elves, it's fine. They're not really.
Oh, they love it.
Just elves.
They love it.
Just elves.
They enjoy it. That's what
They
they're all
live
made
for it.
Yeah.
They work for each other.
Oh dear.
Oh, when you do what you love, you're not working a day of your life, are you?
But in
Right,
the Santa Claus, they're all children as well, which is worse.
Oh, in the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that in a very long time, and I think I'm fine.
I think it's funny that when they did like the remake half sequel thing, the TV series, they got the guy who played Bernard back playing the same character. He's meant to be like 15, but he's like in his late 40s now.
Yeah. He has a youthful spirit.
Yeah.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Welcome, everyone, to part 2. We talked Rudolph. Let's talk about a skeleton.
A skeleton?
Jack
You know,
Skellington.
I could have just not watched this movie
Yeah,
today
absolutely.
because I've seen it so many times.
Spivzy is a regular at Hot Topic.
I am.
All his clothes.
I wish we had Hot Topic.
Yeah.
He's got Jack Skellington bed sheets, underpants.
I wish.
They've got bags.
I remember it was at Forbidden Planet. It was full of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff in like the early to mid 2000s, and it was so expensive.
The last time I went into Forbidden Planet, they had like blind box Nightmare Before Christmas toys.
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
It's like one of those things that I don't think will ever go away.
No.
Good. Thank God, because it's such a great production.
Yeah, I love Night Before Christmas. I think
it's great. It's great. I think that it's unfair that it's called Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before.
Yeah, he did shit all on this.
I was going to say he was a producer on this, and it wouldn't have happened without him. But he did not have as much creative input as people like to act like he did.
No, well, especially because he had no involvement in the songs, and this Danny Elfman. Apparently, there is like big rumors that Danny Elfman, when he wrote the songs, he influenced the story in such a big way that it was like half of Tim Burton's work and half of others' work.
I think that's really funny because is it Chris Sarandon who plays Jack?
Yeah,
yes.
Voice is speaking voice. Danny Elfman plays the character like 3 times as much as he does.
Yeah, because he's the singing voice.
Yeah.
Well, I think he did the same thing when they made Corpse Bride. They did the song Remains of the Day where he plays Bone Jangles, where they spent ages trying to find the right person to do the singing voice, and eventually he said, I can't find anyone, I'm doing it myself. And I think he did the same thing for this as well.
That's cool. He's got such a great singing voice.
Yeah. This is like the origin story of my obsession with Oingo Boingo.
I was wondering if there was which direction that went. If it was,
it was this first, and then
Chicken or Egg.
Band. Yeah,
this is the first time I realised that Catherine O'Hara is the voice of Sally.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't twig. I always knew, but which is great.
Yeah,
I like Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, she's great.
She's good in that Transylvania movie. What is it? Transylvania 50412 or something.
Transylvania
90210.
Just 65000.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. She's good in that. I like what she wears in that one.
She's great in Schitt's Creek as well. She's phenomenal in that. So we should probably. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but we'll talk about it as it goes. The physics in this world, I don't understand. So, is there a central universe that is influenced by all the holiday universes?
I think it's kind of like Planes in Dungeons and Dragons, where there's there's the material plane, there's the real world, and then there's the Christmas world, the Halloween world, the Thanksgiving and St. Patrick's Day worlds.
Okay. That
and
St. Patrick's Day.
It's layers.
And they go through the doors to get to the different worlds, and I guess there's another door we never see that brings them to the real world.
Yeah,
I think that the real world is like past. It's not through a door. It's just if you keep going, you end up in the real world.
Okay.
It's like a Fey realm. It's like Halloween Town and Christmas Town exist between the molecules. Like if you turn your head quick enough, you'll see Jack Skellington.
Right. Okay. That's so creepy. So when Jack Skellington goes through the door to Christmas Town, does he arrive in a similar matrix, like Nexus, where there is a Halloween door as well?
Yes, there is.
Right.
According to Kingdom Hearts 2, that is.
Oh, okay. Finally, your knowledge of Kingdom Hearts 2 has some sort of relevance.
There's a tree in Christmas Town with a pumpkin on it, and you go through that to get to Halloween Town.
The rock solid bed of canon
it's canon. Yeah,
that is Kingdom Hearts.
Donald, Sora, and Goofy are in this movie. They're just slightly off screen at all times.
That's true.
If you turn your head fast enough, you can see them too. In which game was this revealed, Spivzy?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Is it just 2 or is it 2.7?
No, this is just 2. I mean, there is
Redux Paradox.
There is Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Final Mix, but that's just a remake of the original. And I think you go to Halloween Town in 358 over 2 days as well on the DS.
Okay.
Duh.
I think the story in this is really good.
I like the storytelling in this is that they didn't have to explain anything to the audience. Like all of the world building and everything is just what you see is what you get. We're not going to explain to you what Halloween Town is. We're not going to explain what the Halloween Fair is or why they're doing it. Just deal with it. This is Jack Skellington. You know who he is.
One thing I don't understand is at the end of the film, I'm jumping all around here. It's Christmas, but it's also Halloween.
No, it's not Halloween anymore.
But he says to Jack, "Happy Halloween."
Yeah, I think he's just saying that as like instead of saying Merry Christmas, he's like, he's just being nice. I assume saying Happy Halloween is just a thing they say in Halloween Town all the time anyway.
Okay, all right, okay, yeah. So it's like good morning.
Yeah, Happy Halloween.
All right. This is helping me establish the
timelines.
So, do we think that after Halloween, Jack and the town have had 2 months to prepare for Christmas?
Yeah, they've had 55 days to prepare for Christmas.
55 days exactly.
Yeah, it's Decemberween. It's 55 days after Halloween.
I was about to say, I only know that because of Homester Runner. There's a song that's like, you're 55 days after Halloween.
Because that's interesting to me, because Tim Burton said one of his influences was that there was this period between Halloween and Christmas where you had both sets of decorations in stores in the US. One discounted and one heavily marked up, and that was part of his influence of writing The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of those facts that always sticks in my head.
I think it's fun that they spent an entire year planning their Halloween festivities, which was just Jack dressing up as a scarecrow, setting himself on fire, and then coming out of a well. That took them a year to set up.
I think presumably they did a bunch of stuff before that happened.
So.
Yeah.
I hope so. Did they go into the real world? And
yes.
hang out?
So.
That's what I imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked, is there do they pass, how do they get to the real world? Because they must have an influence, a Halloween-esque influence on Earth, quote unquote.
Yeah. Maybe that's where all the pumpkins come from. That's their job. They deliver pumpkins.
Maybe. But shit.
In the Christmas in the Christmas lore, everybody knows who Santa is, and they all know that he's a real person because they all meet him, and the police and everyone are like, Santa's dead. Or
yeah.
So they all know who Santa is. So does everybody know who Jack Skellington is? Is he like a well-known figure in this reality?
I think he's like everyone knows what something scary is, and he's the scariest because when the Glenn Shadix, the bipolar mayor, comes on, he says he gives an award to the vampires for most blood drained in a single evening. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they are hurting innocent people. Well, we don't know that they're innocent. But
no, we don't know they're innocent. Well, they could be draining the blood from the residents of Halloween Town, and they'd probably be into it. So
true.
Yeah.
The opening song just really is great at setting the scene of this.
So much better than the Marilyn Manson version he made.
Yeah.
Have you heard the remake album?
No.
It's awful. There's one good song in it, and it's the one that everybody hates, the Sparkle Horse version of Jack's Lament, I think it is. Or is it?
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the only good song in the entire thing. And people rave about this album because it's got, it's Fall Out Boys doing What's This? It's terrible. It's such a bad album.
Terrible.
It does sound terrible, but
it's like they re-released it in cinemas in 2010 or something with this new soundtrack in. So they just replaced all of the Danny Elfman parts.
Wow,
an awful thing to do.
So this is like Matt was saying. When a game gets 1 out of 5, you've got to play it. I've got to listen to this now because I'm so intrigued. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween film fact that you guys might not know.
Ooh.
So, did you know that originally in the first draft of the film,
I think I do know this,
Oogie Boogie was originally supposed to be Finkelstein?
Oh, like they
in
were
disguise.
One of the same. Gotcha.
Yeah, in disguise.
These storyboards are on Disney Plus as a feature.
I thought I'd found
cool.
something.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you know that
Oh,
in the soundtrack album, and I assume the original before they changed anything, Patrick Stewart played Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it going to be Santa Claus, you said?
Well,
yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
that.
he was going to play Santa Claus, but he definitely was going to do the intro, and it was longer, much longer.
He did an epilogue as well, where it's talk about Jack Skellington playing xylophone in like a little band, and he's got skeleton children. So he's got like 4 or 5 skeleton children at hand.
That's cool. Why did they take that out of the film?
Yeah, probably because they wanted to do a sequel. But then again, if they did a sequel, the obvious thing to do would be to have Jack Skellington's skeleton children doing stuff.
Yeah. Did you know that originally one of Disney's main complaints of the film was that Jack Skellington didn't have eyes?
I did
That's
know
weird.
that because Callie told me that actually, because she really likes this movie too.
That's
Actually,
a crazy
it's
thing
funny.
to complain about.
She's learning Spanish right now, and she's been trying to watch like movies that she knows really well in Spanish. So
That makes sense.
She watched Nightmare Before Christmas in Spanish a little bit ago. So it was funny her saying like, "Oh yeah, that's like KS." But yeah, I guess I can touch real. I had watched this movie a lot later than a lot of other movies like this, like from this time. But I do like this one a lot. But I definitely watched it my rewatch today was definitely in the least gothy kind of time slot because I watched this at like 9 a.m. But I do like it a lot. It's interesting how it's. I heard someone, I don't know who it was, but someone said that the musical side of it is more like an opera than like a traditional Broadway musical, because like it's not really like it's not like people stop and sing like a song. It's just kind of like happening, and like sometimes it's more songy than others, and a lot of people like sing about what's happening at the moment.
There's a couple of songs that the characters on the screen seem like they're framed sort of like a musical, like a stage production.
Yeah.
Like the Jack's Obsession before they start that one, and Sally is like in the corner by the gate.
Oh, Something's Up with Jack. Yeah,
that one. Yeah. That reminds me of a musical
For sure.
But I wonder if it's from Danny Elfman's because he did vaudeville.
Yeah.
To begin with, I wonder if it's from that.
Well, and he's also a really big fan of musical cinema as well, isn't
Yeah.
he? So, he probably loves musicals, operas. If you're, I get the feeling that Tim Burton attracts personalities like himself that are obsessed with everything they're into.
Yeah.
And I feel like Danny Elfman is like the embodiment of music. Like he lives, breathes, eats, sleeps music. So he's probably taken his influences from so many different places, which you would if you only get to be that good at something if you live, breathe, sleep, eat it, right?
Yeah.
That song also shows how bad Jack is at science and should not be anywhere near that equipment.
My favourite thing is when he crushes that bauble into a test tube.
What does it mean?
Interesting combination, but what does it mean?
It means you put glitter into hot water.
Yeah.
I love one of his equations is chestnuts over open fire.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Like, just zooming in with the microscope to the point where you break the slide is such a bad thing from a microscope.
Was that did they do that real or was that stop motion? Because there were some parts in this where I think that they were just filming stuff, like when the cannons are going off at near the end. I think that was just footage.
It's weird because there's a lot of things in this that I just constantly think to myself, like, how did they do this at the time? Like the reflection of Jack on the doorknob.
Apparently, that was like the hardest shot for them to do.
I'm not surprised. Surprised.
That looks so much of this movie just kind of looks insane.
Yeah.
It's like you said, there's a lot of things where I've seen I've seen with like Leica Productions, they put a lot of they show a lot of behind the scenes stuff or how they do a lot of the crazy stuff they do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But like 1993, I don't think they would have used probably any computers in the production, or very limited. So like how doing the matting and stuff for Zero, I'm sure they animated it separately and then put it over behind a green screen and put it over the footage. But that's just, it's nuts, the amount of effort and care that went into this.
Yeah, Pixar is mentioned in the credits.
Oh, interesting.
Right, okay.
But there was only 3 people in the Pixar team, so I don't know what they did. And I guess I had a look on the wiki page, and there's no mention of what they did.
I would imagine, like Matt said, it's probably digital layering and stuff like that, because there's
touch-ups, maybe.
Yeah, there's that scene in Christmas Town where he's looking through the window and he gets closer to his reflection, and then I was trying to think to myself, how would you animate that in a stop motion way? And I think that must be a layered effect, filming almost not filming the reflection, filming from the other side, Jack coming into camera, and then them making the image translucent. That's the only way I can imagine them doing it. In all my years of digital animation expertise,
and all your stop motion movies that you've made.
It's the whole thing about science, when you don't know it, is magic to people who don't understand, right?
He said that quote so succinctly.
Quotes are... yeah, exactly. I can't... there are these milestones in cinema, like Terminator 2 and
I wasn't expecting you to say Terminator 2.
But in special effects, Terminator 2 is a massive milestone, right?
Yeah.
Or Toy Story, or Citizen Kane for some of the cinematography shots that were used in that. And I think this must be one of those.
Yeah.
Especially for the difference between stop motion, the way it's different from most stop motion animation films.
I quite the sets on Night Before Christmas aren't huge. The Christmas Town setting is you could fit that on a table.
Yes, yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, I think because because the timescales were so tight, they started filming it before they had finished the script. So I think they had to keep the sets up. So they had to make them small enough that you could keep them assembled and film, but big enough that you could film them from different angles and they'd look slightly different. Because there's that piece where Sally throws herself out of the window and smashes to bits and then has to sew herself back up.
That's
very clever. Yeah. But that bridge that she goes over makes it seem like that's really far away from town. But that is the same bridge that Jack comes over at the start when he's dressed as the scarecrow. He jumps into the fountain.
Yeah.
In the town square. So it's the same thing, but they've just filmed it from different angles, so it looks further away. But that's really clever. They had little secret pathways and underground bits in the floor so that they could pop up in different places, so they didn't have to disassemble everything, which is very Aardman. That's another thing that Aardman do, because they can't afford to take down and reassemble everything to do different shots. But you wouldn't want to disassemble stuff.
No,
I can
How
imagine.
many heads did they have for Jack?
Oh man,
I don't know.
There must have been dozens of them.
Yeah,
at least dozens. Yeah. No, it's a thing I try to do in this watch through was to keep an eye on background characters, because that's it's a really important part of any animation, but especially stop motion, where if you want the scene to look lively, everyone needs to be moving, not just the people that are the focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the part that I know I've heard people from Aardman say there's some Wallace and Gromit that has a courtroom scene in it, and they said that was one of the hardest things they ever shot, because there's so many people in the one shot, so every single frame you have to touch on everyone in the shot.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Were Rabbit in a church where there's a couple of dozen people in the church.
That might be the one I'm thinking.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things in this where I'd never noticed before, like the little movements of different characters.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Finkelstein moving Sally's sleeve after he's sewn her arm back on. Like nice little touches like that.
There was also another one where, you know, at the end where the policeman is taking the calls about Jack, and he was drumming his fingers.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's such a nice attention to detail that you've got there. Like, so you're looking throughout the frame of what's happening, and people, it's like you said, Matt, like, to make it seem real, people have to move in a real way. They can't just be static at the edges of the shot, right?
Mm.
No, the amount of planning that went into this is nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's so much. Whenever I do creative stuff, there's so many things where I learn by doing it. And this is a team that knows exactly what they're doing, and it's really cool to see people kind of, you know, at the top of their game. But I don't know if we even said yet, Henry Selick is the guy that directed it, and it's kind of like the mastermind behind this. But I need to watch more of his stuff because he didn't direct too many. And I've heard that recent one he did, Wendell and Wild, I've heard that's very good. I want to check.
I need to watch that one. Yeah.
He did Monkey Bone.
But he did Monkey Bone, yeah.
He did do Monkey Bone.
He did James and the Giant Peach, which is a really great film. He did
James
Coraline
and
as well.
And Coraline, yep.
Both of those are very, like, you could watch those in a trilogy with Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Perhaps we need a Henry Selick episode, and we can do James and the Giant Peach and Coraline.
Yeah.
It'd be a good excuse for me to watch James and the Giant Peach because I've actually never seen it, but I've seen Coraline.
It's really good.
Ages ago.
They're both really good films.
And I know you guys already did an episode on Monkey Bone, but I don't. I feel like I should watch Monkey Bone at some point because it just sounds so wild. But.
It's a weird film.
It's a really weird film.
It's really weird. Who's your favourite character?
What, out of Night Before Christmas?
Yeah.
Jack.
You can't pick Jack.
Oh, pick Jack. Oogie.
Oogie's good.
Yeah.
I like
feel like that's like a cheating choice though.
I like the little shit kids, the little trick or treaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lock, Shock and Barrel or something.
Lock, Shock and Barrel, yeah.
Voiced by Danny Elfman, Barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara,
and Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
And I love that I love so much that they have masks, and when they take it off, their faces just look like the masks.
The same.
They replace in the video games. They replace Catherine O'Hara with the woman who voices Phil and Lil from the Rugrats.
Oh,
I can see that.
I can see that. Yeah.
My favourite character is the mayor. I think he's just so funny.
I like when Jack gets shot down and he gets in his car to tell everybody that he's dead, and he's saying like, Jack's been blown to smithereens.
Not a bone left.
The king of Halloween Town has turned to dust.
I like when he turns up the day after Halloween to plan next year's, and he is at the door ringing the doorbell, and you can just see his face change to panic. And then he says, I'm just an elected official. I can't be expected to make any decisions.
Cha-cha-cha.
I love the sequence where they are making Christmas. I like that sequence where they're like the Russian doll men are putting a scorpion in a set of Russian dolls. It's just
my favorite sequence in the movie, because it's such a cool combination of really fun animation and the music, is whenever Jack's delivering the Christmas presents, and then all of the kids are opening up the presents and they're just horrible. It's so funny, and it's just so well done. And the music taking a harsh turn whenever the dolls start attacking, and
when he's going across the rooftops.
Yeah.
And he's dropping the toys into the chimneys, and they just immediately scream as soon as the lights turn on.
I remember the shot from the trailer of the parents in frame, like framing this child and saying, "What did you get?" And he turns around and he pulls a severed head out of the box. And when I was watching it today, I was like, can I legitimately show Evan this? Can I? Would he be scared? I think it's worth the experiment. Finding out if he would actually be scared. It's cartoony,
Yeah,
He knows.
I think
He's seen
this
worse.
is like it's like a litmus test of horror for kids. Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's like it's just bad enough.
Mm.
I mean, it's already like gross, but all of the gross characters aren't really that like terrifying. Like the oily children that are in this movie.
I
All the
like
pustules.
I like the shithead monster. So when Jack touches his head and he can't pull his hand away from it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's so good. It's still so good, and I know it's like a lot of people have a problem with Nightmare Before Christmas because it's like too emo and too like. If you like this, you must like My Chemical Romance and stuff like that.
Invader Zim.
Yeah, I was about to say it is very goth. Like goths were eating good in the 90s.
Yeah,
You got this. You got The Crow around the same time.
yeah.
Invader Zim a little later.
Same year that Hocus Pocus came out, this movie.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But it's such a good film.
It's really good. I enjoy it so much.
I love that Disney refused to release it through their own label and released it through Touchstone because they were worried it was too scary.
They're cowards.
Yeah.
I mean, they've backtracked on that because now Jack Skellington is fully
Oh, yeah.
a
a
Disney
Disney,
character.
yeah.
Fully Disneyfied.
Mm.
He's in Kingdom Hearts. That's how you know he's Disneyfied.
Yeah, exactly.
It made it had a budget of $18 million. I can't believe that. It feels like it should have been much more expensive, and it made box office 107 million.
Yeah,
Which is, I mean, that's got to be the biggest grossing stop motion animation, surely.
I would think so, unless one of the newer ones like Kubo or Box Trolls
maybe.
made more,
Yeah,
because
I'm
we're in
just
an
gonna
era now where everything has to make 500 million.
Oh my god, no! Chicken Run, $227 million.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chicken Run is a very good movie.
Chicken Run is
Yeah.
a very good movie. I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a very long time. It's funny. I guess there must have been a brief period there where I like between probably 1999 and 2001, whenever I was a kid, where I guess we just went to like every movie that was aimed at kids, because I watched Chicken Run and Iron Giant both in theaters.
Yeah.
Both of which are kind of infamous for not doing amazing in theaters.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There's a sequel, isn't there, for Chicken Run?
Yeah.
There was. It came
I
out
haven't
just
seen it.
like somewhat recently.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the last couple of years. I don't think did anyone continue with the voices?
I don't know.
I don't
Wasn't
think
one
they
of them
did.
dead? I think
Dunno.
a couple of people died between the two releases, so I would assume that they never reprised the voice.
Nightmare Before Christmas was the 7th highest stop motion animation.
Really? That's surprisingly low
Yeah.
down.
Chicken Run, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Coraline, The Pirates! Exclamation mark, in An Adventure with Scientists.
Oh, yeah.
Corpse Bride, Box Trolls, Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm surprised Corpse Bride made more, because people don't really talk about Corpse Bride as much as this one.
Was
Definitely
very
not.
close. There was only like $6 million in it.
Yeah. I like Corpse Bride. I think it's a good
Yeah,
movie.
it's fine.
But it's very clearly that Tim Burton has got more to do with it, because there's
Yes.
less music in it and there's more introspection and a weird
Yeah.
ending.
Corpse Bride might be the best post year 2000 Tim Burton movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause
probably.
Something
Yeah.
about the new millennium just destroyed a good
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
I think he
'cause-
kept wanting to not be a filmmaker anymore, but they kept forcing him into it.
When did he get divorced? When did he get married or Oh, he got married to Helena Bonham Carter in 2001. I think it
no.
has something to do with that because
Yeah.
he all of a sudden insisted that she was in all of his films and stuff. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, he was a proper nepo, wasn't he? Like,
Isn't he married to Monica Bellucci now?
I think they're just dating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So-
but yeah, if Tim Burton had made Nightmare Before Christmas in like '98, it would have been Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter as Jack
Yeah.
and Sally,
yeah.
100%.
and it wouldn't have been as good.
It would not have been.
You're
as-
right.
Yeah, but it's what we have is amazing, and
Yeah.
it's funny because this has become synonymous with Tim Burton, even though he really didn't have a whole lot to do with it. He
Yes.
just, he's
Just put his name on it.
he put his name on it, and he did support it like financially or whatever, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't
Yeah.
the creative force as much as just
And I
making
think-
it get out the door.
I think it was only a Disney production because he wrote the original idea while he was on Disney property and working for them.
Yeah. I feel like he probably had some stuff to do with what's the look of Halloween Town.
Yeah.
You know, like what's the character design for Jack? Because they all seem very, this black and white checkerboard and there's spiral designs and things, and they're all very Tim Burton, right? But apart from that, I feel like a lot of the work was done by the sort of adaptation team that would have been sort of making sort of like notes in a scribbled like notepad into something that was an actual story.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great. It still holds up. It's still a really good story as well. It's not got the strongest like message, like we said. It's not. The message is sort of like stay in your lane.
Yeah. I don't know. What I kind of got away from it this time when I watched it was it's kind of saying if you're exhausted with your main job, try something different, and then it might like make you realize may re-energize you for the thing that you liked in the first place.
Yeah,
which I think there's validity to that.
Yeah. The other message you could probably take is that you can't own something like Christmas.
Yeah, is Jack Skellington a Christmas colonizer?
Attempted.
He went there and he stole things from them because he comes back in a little sleigh with all presents and stuff. But he stole so much stuff from Christmas Town.
But he also says, like, I don't have to understand it. We're going to make it ours.
Yeah, that's true. Is that better or worse?
But he realises the error of his ways and gives it back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Elgin marbles are going finally back to Greece, apparently.
Oh. I like how when Santa gets unkidnapped, rescued, that's the word. He just leaves. He just says, like, you've screwed everything up. I'm going to have to go and fix this, and then just fucks off. It's great.
I love his little, he has the little nose tap for his Christmas magic.
Yeah. I also, we haven't really talked about Oogie and how fucking terrifying he is.
So and he's in like very little of the movie and makes a very big scene.
Yeah.
His bit at the start where his face is on the moon.
Yeah.
I thought that birthed 1,000 pumpkin designs.
I also like the death scene. Like that he's really a man of bugs in a suit. Yeah. It's gross.
Which part is Oogie? Is all the bugs Oogie? Is the
I think it's a Gestalt situation where like
the Borg. All... Yeah.
We are legion for we are many. Yeah.
All right. So marks out of 10.
10. I love this movie. I think it's great.
Oh, a 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10.
I know you don't like
things 10s, but I'm giving it a 10.
I get shit for that all the time.
Yeah, and you deservedly so.
I'd give it a 9. Matt?
Yep.
Yeah, probably a 9, 8 or maybe 8.5 or a 9. I do like it a lot. It's one of those things where there's not anything I can say specifically I don't like about it, but it just, I don't know, it's not like, I don't think it's perfect. It's not my absolute favorite, but I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I think the story in it would, if it wasn't a musical, the story in it would be pretty bland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't, it's kind of nothing
said before, every movie would be improved as a musical.
Schindler's List, the musical.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Basic Instinct,
Titanic's a musical.
The musical. We at some point are going to have to watch the Italian Titanic cartoons.
Oh, with the rapping dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made 2.
Titanic 2, yeah.
The Legend of Titanic and Titanic: The Legend Continues.
Wow.
Both from separate Italian studios.
That's really fun. We could have a Titanic week. When's the anniversary of the Titanic sinking? April?
Oh my god. Yeah, we've passed it. It would have been 1914, wouldn't it?
No, I meant just the month.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe April. Yeah, April 1914.
Yeah, that was some good guesswork.
I need to check now. Sorry, I can't, just in case, because I'm traumatized by.
I think it's April.
15th April 1912. You're close.
Wow.
Damn it. 2 years out.
You could hit the 120th anniversary if you keep doing this for a few more years.
There is we all make more than one podcast, right? So, or involved in more than one podcast. Do we all have that trauma of when we say something, we feel the urge to check it straight away because we don't want someone to say, well, actually, it was blah, blah, blah.
No, I have that urge because...
I don't get any comments.
I get that urge because I have a brain sickness and I got to know.
I just make stuff up. Just hope for the best. I did just look up Night Before Christmas, written by the same woman who wrote the Addams Family movie from 1991.
Oh, cool. Oh, that one too.
Such a great film.
Yeah.
That one too. That's another gothy movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
Man.
They were eating.
What was it? Caroline Thompson.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh, man. That's a good credit to have.
That is. God, she also wrote
Edward
love
the
Scissorhands.
Addams Family.
God, Edward Scissorhands is so good.
Yeah. I mean, she also wrote Homeward Bound.
But, wow.
The Incredible Journey.
And The Secret Garden.
Oh, I don't like The Secret Garden. It creeps me out.
She wrote Corpse Bride.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's some good writing credits. Well done, whatever your name was, Carolyn Thompson.
Carolyn Thompson.
Let's get her on the show.
A name we won't forget soon.
She is still alive. She's 68.
Hey.
Yeah.
We could get her on.
Yeah,
Talk about...
talk to us.
I like the one thing that stops you from getting her on is if they're alive or not. Other than that, everyone's game.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I don't want to have to get my Ouija board out.
We were going to get Don Bluth on.
That's true. You're like, oh, wait, I think he died in, like, the early 90s.
No, I think he's still alive. He's still going. He's 87.
No.
Oh, sorry, Don Bluth. I for some reason, I heard Don Knotts in my head.
Is Don Bluth still alive?
Don Bluth is
Bluth's still alive.
He's,
Yeah.
87.
Yeah.
He's still doing, like, convention scenes and everything.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
Yeah. We could definitely get him on. We can talk to him about Space Ace.
Oh, I'd love to talk about Dragon's Lair and Space Ace.
Yeah.
I think Space Ace is the better game. I know it's not more iconic, but I think it's the better game.
I mean, it's the game with Crush Space Danger in. So.
Yeah.
That's true.
And Drac.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, we're only an hour and 15 in. I'm going to ask a Christmassy related question.
Right.
What is your favourite Christmas film?
Can we say non-animated, because otherwise it's just this? So.
Oh, yeah, we can say non-animated.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is
Actually,
a good one.
I saw that one with my wife's family in a theater on like on a big screen. That was really cool. But it's either that one or Elf, because I love Elf.
Elf's great. Elf is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean,
surprisingly so.
I mean, It's a Wonderful Life, of course.
Yeah, that's great.
It's become a Christmas staple.
I really like Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, Muppets Christmas Carol is
which
good.
Is the best adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But I also I think a Christmas film is it shouldn't be defined by if it has Christmas in it.
Or if it has Muppets in it.
Or if it has Muppets in it. But I always count
conversely,
the Lord of the Rings.
I think all films should be judged on if they have Muppets in them or not.
Yeah,
but.
True.
Yeah.
But I always count the Lord of the Rings films as Christmas films because
they came out at Christmas. Yeah.
Yep.
So I always say Fellowship is my favourite Christmas film because it came out, and we only do a rewatch of Lord of the Rings at Christmas. So yeah.
In my head, Lord of the Rings are very fallish movies.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's what I think of with Lord of the Rings. But totally, that's like I said, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark is kind of a Christmas movie for me. So
Star Wars is a Christmas movie.
Star Wars, yeah. Or even like Wizard of Oz, like just other like kind of classic.
I can totally see
movies, that. Classic.
I think
movies.
it's about the whimsy and the magic of the film as well, isn't it? I do really like. I never used to like it so much as I do now because Evan loves it. He loves Home Alone. And Home Alone is a great film.
It is, yeah.
I kind of wish they would go back to that well and do another one now.
Well, they did. It was awful.
What, they did a Kevin McAllister one?
Not a Kevin McAllister one. They had the kid from that Taika Waititi Hitler movie. I can't remember the name of.
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, the kid from that was in the movie.
I would do the Wet Bandits coming back for Kevin McAllister as an adult.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny. Yeah. In the new one, he's like the head of their security system in the house. It's like McAllister's security.
Wow.
So he got into like burglar alarm systems as he got older.
That's funny.
Childhood trauma does weird things to you, I guess.
That's a bad movie though. The new one, Home Sweet Home Alone.
I've not seen it.
It's awful. The kid's the villain in the movie, but I think it was like written that he was supposed to be the bad guy, and then they panicked and thought we can't make a movie where the child is the villain. So then they just like backtracked on the whole thing where he's still doing all this terrible stuff to these people, but they're not outright saying he's doing bad. It's really weird. Yeah.
Do we want to head over to emails? Have we got any emails?
I don't think we have, but I'll have a look.
For God's sake. What is wrong with you people? Send some goddamn emails.
Oh, that's news from the Toonhounds network. We're available on YouTube now.
I saw.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't know before you posted the link.
Yeah, it's an RSS feed, so I don't have to do anything with it. It just does it automatically.
We have that too. Although I found out that it was the way that it worked was through our blog post, which on the blog post for Heroes 3, we have with a blog post with Heroes 3, we have links from Internet Archive. And so we had a couple of episodes that weren't on there for a while because the Internet Archive was down for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
they're on there now though.
I'm halfway through the new episode because you have done the host.
Yes,
which is
that's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
The host is very fun.
It was very good.
I like how all of the members of the family are the antithesis of different political eras of Korea. It's very, 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 very interesting.
That is interesting.
He's such a good director.
Oh yeah, Bong
I like
Joon-ho.
Snowpiercer as well.
Snowpiercer
is such a cool film. Yeah, right. Okay, email.
Okay, it is from V.
Of course it is.
It's entitled Dear Toonhounds, and the body of the email is, when are you getting Zig and Zag as guests on the podcast, VV? To people who don't know, Zig and Zag are puppets. They are aliens from the planet Zog, I think,
yeah.
who were on Big Breakfast in the 90s. I think the last time they were on TV was maybe 1997.
92, 93. Oh, no, later than that. You're probably right, yeah.
V is not beating the 40 years old allegations.
No. Zig and Zag, I had Zig and Zag's album, like their music album as a kid. Yeah, and I had their book, their Christmas book about Zig and Zag and their adventures on Planet Zog. Awful characters, really terrible.
Really bad. Worse than Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, and they had really weird voices.
I swear you guys could make up characters you saw on British TV.
Yeah, it would just have to be something terrifying.
We had on the same puppets on breakfast TV was a real big thing for British in between like 85 and like 2000.
Yeah.
You had Ed the Duck, Gordon the Gopher, Zig and Zag. You had do you remember DJ Cat?
I do remember DJ Cat.
I used to watch DJ Cat all the time. Do you remember the crocodile from?
Didn't DJ Cat do that song with Paula Abdul?
That was his friend. DJ Scat.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you remember Round the Twist?
I do remember Round the Twist. Does Zippy Bungalung George count as breakfast TV characters?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that at the end of this you're going to say, one of these we made up. You tell us who. Toonhounds.
And then there was Y-Bird.
Yeah, there was Greenhorn. Yeah. So
Mr. Blobby, obviously.
Oh, Mr. Blobby.
Mr. Blobby.
I hate Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby, he deserves death.
But were not as bad as Zig and Zag.
I don't know. I think if you had to choose between killing off Zig and Zag and Mr. Blobby, you got one bullet. Zig and Zag are standing side by side, so it'll go straight through. I think I'd get rid of Mr. Blobby. I don't think he doesn't deserve life. He's so annoying.
I'm not sure why I know who Mr. Blobby is. Because I recognize. I looked at a picture of him. Like, I recognize him. Why do I know who Mr. Blobby is?
You had Sooty and Sweep.
Oh, we were Sooty
And
and Sue.
Sue.
Yeah. Didn't they like add Sue in like 40 years later?
Yeah, absolutely, because they needed a girl character.
Yeah, and they had a
Token
dog.
girl one.
I think they gave Sooty a dog.
They gave the dog a dog.
Yeah, I
No,
think so.
Sweep's the dog.
Sweeps the dog, yeah, but I'm sure they gave him like a real dog. And it like because it was Paul Daniels was his like owner, and then Paul Daniels died, and it was some other musician who took over, and then they gave him all these other characters.
It wasn't Paul Daniels. Paul Daniels was the bald one.
Yeah, Paul Daniels. I'm sure it was Paul Daniels who did Sooty and Sweep. He was a magician.
No.
Who was it then?
This is some good radio right here.
Sooty, British puppet media franchise. The first one was Harry Corbett and Matthew Corbett.
Matthew Corbett.
Yeah.
He was the ginger guy with the moustache.
Yeah.
This is so bad.
I had a Sooty. I've got a Sooty puppet somewhere.
Okay. We did make up one of those puppets.
Can you guess which one?
I really can't.
If you know which one we made up, you win nothing.
Yes. Except our respect.
Yeah, but you already had that, so
Yeah, that's true.
really, what have you won?
We forgot Basil Brush as well.
Oh, boom, boom.
Boom, boom. I think that's probably it, right?
Oh, I hope so. We just talked about puppets for the last 10 minutes.
Not a jingle bell to be found.
No, absolutely not.
There aren't any Christmas puppets.
No, it's not.
That's weird, isn't it? There should be
That
a
is
Christmas
weird.
puppet character. Let's make one.
No.
Maybe next time. Maybe that's Patreon
Maybe next
exclusive.
Matt, thank you as always for being our Christmas
for sure.
special guest.
A Christmas special hat.
Yeah.
I was going to say Christmas special host. Technically, yeah. Yeah, we love having you on. We always say this. We have to get you on sometime in the year rather than just having you
so
on
that's not
once.
about Christmas.
It is limited. You
For
get
sure.
to watch.
I'll
You get.
What would you like to do if we had a non-Christmas special?
Oh, I mean,
what
to segue into my plugs, it would be fun to do one talking about anime or some of the kind of weirder non-Japanese Asian animation stuff out of and there's some wild stuff out of India if you want to watch some bad stuff. There's some really cool, good animation out of India, but there's some real bad stuff too. So that could be a fun one. But you should listen to Heroes 3 podcast. Every other week we talk about we try to do every other week. We do episode talking about Asian cinema. We usually focus on Hong Kong action movies, aka kung fu movies. And this right now we're doing our end of the year personal picks. So the episode that just went up yesterday when we're recording this is The Host, like we were talking about, the Bong Joon-ho movie. That was my pick. And before that, we did an animated anthology movie called Memories that I think you guys would love because it's so good. It's some of the most incredible animation that you'll ever see. It's so good.
Cool. It's a very good podcast as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I love Carlos.
Oh yeah, Carlos is great.
Right. Spiv, have we
Hello.
got anything to plug?
I have a Twilight Zone podcast called The Unlocked Door, which I make with a friend of the show, Squid Ludwig. We just did an episode on Walking Distance, which is a very, very, very good season 1 episode of the Twilight Zone. That's available wherever, I think, unless it's not out yet. We've got one that's out and one that's not out, and I can't remember which one's out or not. But
go listen.
just listen to it anyway. It's really good. There's a couple of episodes available. We've been going through all the 80s ones and the 1950s ones, and finding out piece by piece that the 1980s ones aren't very good.
Some are like almost direct remakes with a slight change.
Yeah,
I find some of the 80s ones, and they're just not as good.
yeah. Have you got things to plug, Richard Masters?
Yes, I have a podcast that I do with friends of the show, Josh Henderson and Jeff Pennington, called Story Lords. We've just started season 3. Speaking of Twilight Zone, I've picked a Twilight Zone-esque setting to do my stories in this year.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going well so far. I did have neurovirus the last time we recorded and had to make very about double the amount of breaks we did.
Very sad. A broken neck.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing a sling at the moment because my neck is so bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. God, you're going to be like full body cast.
Soon, yeah. But as long as my mouth still works, I can still do podcasting.
You'll have to type with like a spoon in your mouth.
But yeah, it's third season's going really well. You can listen to it anywhere. Just type. Well, you can't listen to it anywhere. That's an exaggeration. But you can listen to it where you listen to your podcast. Just search for Story Lords. You
can physically listen to it anywhere, like anywhere that you want to listen to it. Yeah,
it's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. You can listen to it anywhere you've got a phone, really, or a laptop.
You can download it. You don't even need Wi-Fi. You go out into the middle of the desert, listen to Story Lords.
Actually, that's. I actually have a story related to that, not the desert, but the other day I rode my bike to work, which was the furthest I'd ridden my bike in a while. So that was really nice. But on the way back, I got a flat tire and had to walk for like almost an hour to get home. And I listened through almost an entire episode of Story Lords during that time, and that helped.
Which
out
one
a lot,
did you listen to?
It was from a little bit. I'm pretty far behind, but I want to say it was from. Let me look it up. I could probably tell the exact one, but it was from February or March. Let's see.
That would have been season 2.
Let's see. This is talking.
The episode.
We're fine. We're fine with
this.
And
cars.
Let's see.
Elephants and trains.
I wish we got such mundane prompts sometimes.
I guess. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out the best way to. I guess I'll go to Spotify.
That's Spotify.com for everyone listening at home.
You don't have to put this.
I'm trying to think what.
Okay. Time ago. It was either trombones and miasma or axes and blacksmiths. It was one of those two.
I can't remember what stories I did.
I know there was. I remember Josh's story featured Princess Axe's wound, which doesn't narrow it too much. I know, but I remember that. So,
but that would have been probably around the time he brought her back.
Yes, I think it was either the one that he brought her back or the next one. So,
cool.
But yeah, Story Lords is good.
Yeah, it takes a hell of a lot of work. I said on the last one, I work like 4 times as hard on this podcast as I do on Toonhounds. And I didn't mean that in any great disrespect. It's just Toonhounds is easy by comparison.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even have to watch the cartoons because we know them so well.
Yeah, I mean, we still do. But...
We still do, yeah.
Because I do worry that if I didn't, I would just forget everything that has ever happened in any cartoon ever.
Well, and also it gives us a nice opportunity to watch some cartoons.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
Right then. So next time,
listen to Tapon as well. Listen to Tapon.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're all involved in that.
Especially because Lower Decks is finishing. It's going to finish in 12 hours' time or something ridiculous like that. The last episode is out tomorrow. It's really sad. Really sad because that show's great, but. The show that Lower Decks took all its inspiration from, Tapon's Theatre on Subspace, is still out there for you to listen to.
Yeah. It's like 34 episodes?
Yep, I think we have. It's around there.
I think we've said this before, but I think that saved us all from madness during COVID.
Yes. Yeah. That was a very good thing to be able to put all of your focus into.
Yeah. Because the world was turning to shit. Well, we're still turning to shit. But we used to meet up every week and talk about stories that we wanted to write and stuff like that.
We just make stuff up. Sometimes what you need to do is just make stuff up.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Matt, again. It was an absolute pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And we will have you on soon. If you want to send I'm not going to put a date to it because I don't even know what date it is at the moment. If you want to send an email, because you seriously guys, you have been really fucking slacking lately, you can send it to toonhounds@gmail.com. If you want to be a friend of the podcast and support us, then you can head over to patreon.com/storylords and you can access.
Different
no,
show.
You can't. Sorry. Patreon.com/toonhounds. Oh man, Jeff always does that on Storylords, and I'm like, oh, he's such a novice. Why do you do that? It's just so easy. Yeah, I bet when you get the Patreon set up for Twilight Zone, Hidden Door.
Yeah, I doubt it because I'm not professional.
No, you're not.
I don't make mistakes. Oh, by the way, our music is done by Vidison. You can find all his music at vidison.card.co. That's card with 2 R's.
Excellent. Thank you, Spivzy. But you can head over to patreon.com/Toonhounds and support us there. You get access to sidecasts, you get access to the episodes early, all that jazz. And you can also join the Discord and suggest themes with some of our episodes of audience generated, essentially. Yep. That makes it sound like we do no
really
work.
We're bad at coming up with things on our own.
Yeah, we are.
Our tactic for coming up with episode ideas is literally turning to the side and looking what DVDs are on the shelf next to me and going, yeah, we could probably watch that.
Or what's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because sometimes finding the cartoons that we want to watch is incredibly difficult because the whole of the internet seems to want to destroy animation.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you for listening as always. We're going to say goodbye now. Remember to take care of yourself and each other and have a nice festive period, regardless of if you celebrate Christmas or not, regardless of if you're going to spend it with family or not. Just take care of each other and yourselves. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.